What's up, y'all? It's Jam and Sam, and today we're going to recompose some of Fungi Forest to sound more like Donkey Kong Country. And I've already got the day theme of Fungi Forest. I wanted to do the second half of this with the night theme, and I've done some considerable bit of work on it since I last streamed. So check it out. Oh, it's not even playing. Why? Oh, I see. I know what happens. It's because of this stupid incompatibility with the Focusrite. Okay. There we go. That should do it. Nice. Welcome, DBZ editor. Hi. So, what I'm gonna do now is go on to the night theme after this. And I think actually I might want to put another pad here. I think there was a pad I like. I had just downloaded like Serum 2 as an upgrade to Serum. And there was a pad there that I really liked. I was like, let's see, yeah. I want to kind of try to layer this with the pad that's here. Like when it gets to the sax part. Okay, we'll paste that here. Oh, my snap, like the snap level is really small. What is that? Let's Control Q. And then I want to take these two notes and shorten them. Okay, let's see what... I think this should be up an octave. No, not that. Ooh. Although it might be too loud. Sax might need some more volume. I think it needs less mids in general. I think the pads just need to back off in terms of middle value. Let's call this choir. Why is this? Okay. So I would say just make a dip in the middle here. Or let's have just make it a shelf that goes down. Nice, that helps a lot. Let's bring up the sax here. And maybe that's a little bit too much. And maybe both that synth voice can be brought up in highs. Yeah, bring up that air. That's nice, nice airy sound. Cool. Nice. Maybe bring the bass up a little bit too. I like that. Okay. Sounds good so far. Thank you. Welcome, Mandalorian Hunter. I'm glad you put in the hard work and show us. Thank you. Welcome, Eyes of Breathe. Walking through the forest with high grass and mushy rooms to the left and right. Nice. Yeah, it's quite vivid. I do like that. So, now I think we'll shift from this into the night section, with which I'm going to start with with sound effects, ambience. And I think I quite like the sound effects that are some of the sound effects that are used in Donkey Kong 64, the crickets and such. Although the quality is not the best. I would probably opt for a more modern recording. Let me see what I have in my library, or if I need to go to Freesound to download some new stuff. Oh my, what is that? Oh. It crashed on me. Wow, now we need to go into backup and find the last saved one, which was a minute ago, so I don't really think I would have lost anything, thankfully. I have it set to save every 5 minutes because of how frequently FL Studio crashes and how unstable Windows is as a system. So let me just check like the last thing I did, which I think is, well, the last thing I did is probably bring the volumes up, which are kind of hard to distinguish. Let me just make sure that that sounds good. Nice, I think that sounds great. So, let me just save this as the main project file that I've been working from. Okay, so as I was saying, I might have an ambient sound with some crickets in it. Let's see. That's the daytime. No, I don't think I really have anything yet that fits that description. So I'm gonna go, you won't be able to see this, but I'm gonna try to find a fitting sound effect from Freesound. No, that's too much noise.
Starting now.
I do quite like this. That's really low quality, but I like this one. Yeah, I like this one. Okay, let me download that. I'm also gonna type in just like a cricket sound. I like crickets and see what I get. That one's not public domain. Too many frogs. That's frogs, not that. Ooh, I like this one too. Okay, we'll do with those two sounds. Those sound nice. Me who recorded Real Birds, that was that one, and that one was from DKC 2 or 3. You record Real Birds, nice. Maybe I'll get some of those recordings from you and use them in the in a song or something, or in this one. And then could credit you in the description. Okay, so let me resize this thing because I don't need all those long file names anymore. Let's see. So this, I'm going to then relocate them to my samples folder. So, and then now that they're in the folder, I'm going to drag them in here. Let's see how that sounds. Cool, I like that. Nice. Okay, so I want to let those sound effects run for a bar or two while it shifts our position, shifts our consciousness from the day to night. And then after that 2 bars, I want to introduce, I had the idea to introduce a bass piano. And we could use the piano that already exists, even though we're only playing treble with this. The only problem is that I think I did a high pass on it. Let's see. Let me turn on my keyboard. And it's got echoes on it too, so. So what I would need to do is, let's see, go to project. Oh, actually generators. Piano Tech 9. Let's see if I can find that delay. Bounce delay mix. Is there a mix here? I think that's the same thing. Oh, FX1 switch. Let's have that switch to be on whenever we're in the synths here. And then off when we're in the bass. Right, so here if we go play in the bass, it shuts off. And if you go to the synths pattern and play, it turns on. So now, and oh yeah, I see what I've done here is like I put an EQ on it to remove the bassiness, but I don't know if I need that. It does have a big thump on it, so I would say let's do that with let's do that in parametric EQ because it's easier to edit. Ooh, what's this? Okay, let me save this so that just in case of anything going wrong. Interesting. So basically, anytime I try to edit this, it just shuts off. Let's see. If I delete this and replace it again, maybe it fixes that. It still crashes. So I guess the wrapper crashed. So in that case, let me restart the thing. Your microphone. Welcome. Hey, Bat. Life is being kind to you. Yes, life is being kind to me. Hope life is being kind to you as well. I don't know what VOD is, but I do know the stat, like the little pops being in the audio being a symptom of the CPU maxing out. Yeah, my computer's always having troubles. It's a Windows machine. Windows machines are just trouble in general. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, it seems to be working now, as far as I can tell. Okay, so when it's in the piano sequence here, I would like this band to, I'll Control I, and I'd like it to be there anytime this thing plays. But when it's in bass, I would like it to go all the way. Oh, we're getting that again? I would like it to not be there. Okay, so basically what I want now is the... Oh, I also have to disable the echoes. Disable echoes here, but in piano, have them be enabled. And you know what? I think that... No, I think it's fine. So in bass, on the next available spot, I would like... Okay, I think this should be... Whoa. Let me set the snap to be a step. And it has to be shorter. And the reverb, I want the reverb to go away when we get into here as well. I don't think... What is the FX number? Because I know it's going to... okay, I think reverb is separate. There we go. Reverb switch. And here, I want it to be 0. Oh, shut up. And here, I want it to be on. And here, I'm going to zoom in a bit. Okay, so there's dun 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 dun. But I think it waited like it's supposed to wait. And then there's just silence. But I think the whole thing should be faster, actually. And then after that, I want to copy this, paste it, but then paste it again. Control up to shift the octave, and then shift left to shift it back. And it's a little loud. I don't know. I think this might be too heavy on the bass. Maybe not. Maybe that's just right. But it is too heavy on the mids. Just look at that. Yeah, let's take that down. I think the piano will still sound. Yeah, we can keep it right there on this one and then put it down to the middle when it's in the bass. Where is it? There we go. So then how is it going to do, because I know the bass is still playing at the same time with that. Okay, so then oh, interesting. But I don't really want no, I'm not sure I want no reverb there. Actually, I might want some reverb there. Ah, this thing is not activating. I made this thing go too late. So I think the reverb mix should just go way down. Oh. Weird. Why is the reverb mix? Why did it suddenly go to 0? Nobody should not have done that. Okay, and then the bass. We need the reverb mix to go way down. I like that it echoes. Yeah, there's like a faint noise. Yeah. Okay, and then there's supposed to be like a bridge that just where at the end it just goes dun dun. Except I don't know why. So it does that and it does it again. Like it repeats the full one again and then it goes dun dun. But I think that should go later in the bar. Dun 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 dun. So it does dun dun. Yeah, more like that. Except why does it so dumb? But I might just have it do that once and then go straight into the thing. Or actually, I think what I want is to have it actually let me no. There we go. Okay, and then I want to go with the melody, which I have an idea for. I would like to get a flute, pan flute. Let's see. I found a free contact library from Decent Samples. Our piano book, like Piano Book, has like a lot of free stuff that people make for Contact. So if it's called Hub Flute, so if I download that there, it sounds a lot like a lot like a good pan flute. I don't think we need that reverb though. Is this? Yeah. Nice. Let me put that to normal volume. I like that tremolo at the end there. So, if I go to find first empty and call this pan flute, no. And then I go, it's channel 4, so I can go, what I want to do is like, now I have to do channel 4. Oh, it doesn't go lower than that. I have to go higher. But I can't see, you can't see what notes I'm doing. Oh, it's all the way up here. Because in the game it goes you have this part that goes okay, so it does. So it hits, in the DK64 it hits A sharp. So I can do, or it does A actually, but I don't want to do A. So we can do so then the end would be like something like that. So let's see. I want to try to play this line via MIDI. That would be nice. What is this? No. Everything's having so much problems now. All of a sudden. What is that? Okay. Windows 11, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to ask, really. I just have no idea what this thing is trying to do. I think it's just Windows has really fell off. Like, now it's pretty much just like a giant advertising machine that just spams me with notifications to buy things. And they've sort of like not really cared about stability at all. Windows peaked with XP. So it seems like every time I go away, this thing just... So I'll keep saving it just in case I lose anything, but I think it's like not really a critical issue at this point. So what I want to play is... Or I can do... Nice, I think I'll play that and then figure out what I want from there. So, and I think I'll put this like right here, and hold on. So these sound effects need to go down at the bottom. Shift down. And the melody needs to go here. Okay, so then I'll put this here and I'll start recording. What is going on with that piano, man? It's like it's not listening to me. Something like that, and then I think I forgot a bit here. Let's see. Let me try to re-record that, or overdub that. Oh Jesus! Like, why is this so poorly programmed that it doesn't follow clear automation instructions? Dumb. Anytime I try to play it here, it's like, dude, just stop. Like, there's no pattern here that's having any automation towards that. Just stop. If I can make like if I can take some silence here and continuously like remind it somehow, that would be nice. Maybe if I just take all of these and move them one thing over. One bar over, and then continuously just repeat that. Now it's just ignoring me completely. Okay, so whatever I did there has to go. Okay, let me duplicate this and then just remove all notes instances whatsoever. So it's basically just automation at that point. And then I can continue reminding. So basically anytime. Okay. So as long as this automation thing is here, at least it'll obey me. And so since there's latency, which I'm blaming the latency for my bad timing here, so let's just quantize it and see. And actually, let's try to correct. I kind of want that humanization, so let's just pick a small snap and try to correct that as much as possible. So at least it's closer to being on grid. Okay, this is going to need some extensive editing. Okay, I need more space between these. These I might need to quantize, actually. Oh, I think the problem is it needed to be in like thirds or something. And maybe not. Maybe it just needs to be longer. Okay, yeah, that works better, actually. Or even when it's off, completely off timing, it still sounds like some of the notes. It sounds like this note is just generally delayed in the patch. Let's see. Okay, there's a chiff here somewhere. Interesting. Yeah, I don't get that then. What the? Okay, so this one needs to go down. Oh, wait. I think it's because... this has to go all the way to the end of the bar and hit the last note on that. Interesting. I think... Oh, yeah, this one's off. This one's off. Wait a second. No. It's supposed to be in thirds. What did I do for the sax? Oh, it starts at the that first note there. It starts 2 notes early. Let me just undo a lot of that. Okay, so this. Do. But I think these are kind of thirds, though. Okay. Okay, and then this has to repeat itself. But I think that part doesn't until it's like a transition. And then I want an overdub here. First, let me read chat. Welcome, Cool Callie. I'm sorry to ask, how did you learn FL Studio? I tour around in my free time, but I'm not a musician. Well, I downloaded FL Studio when I was like a teenager, like 14, 16, and I had just been teaching myself, really. But I looked up like video tutorials, which an abundance of which exist on YouTube for FL Studio, and I pretty much just experimented with things and learned over time. I need a few DK64 sounds clear. What's that? What do you mean? Okay. Close the error message and okay, here I need to overdub it. No, wait. No. So I guess that doesn't really work. Yeah, because this trill won't work, so it'll have to be like. So I'll have to choose between that. I think I'll favor the this ending instead. Hmm. I think, let's see. I think it should be more like this one. Yeah, I think it has to follow more. Da-da. So then we need to do. Okay, that's a bit too much. Da-da-da-da. Just trying to get that trill part back. Yeah, I'm not sure how that part's going to work out, but let me go back to what I had before with just the two. Oh wait, I undid a lot of stuff. That's right. What is happening? That is really weird. Actually, I'll just extend this out. There we go. And then da da da. Okay, and to tie these two, the melody and the bass together, we'll do some chords. And I've written kind of, or I kind of improvised some chords. It was kind of like in between Fungi Forest and the Forest Interlude. Let's see. I taught myself basics at 19. Oh, you mean the SFX? You need a few DK64 SFX. Ah, okay, like sound effects from the game. So for the harmony, let's see. We can kind of use we might be able to use the synth voice. Something like that. So what we can do is go stretch this out and then put a piece over here. No, I might use that. What I might do is cut this and make it change here. And I kind of want to do a thing like I did in Mining Melancholy, where it's like where you have this harmony that goes something like that. So it would be fun to do that, I think. But then it just goes from G. And that means we don't need this. But I think it's too much development at once. We might need to make the melody wait till this. Now, where's my synth? Why did it go to the pan flute? Don't go to the pan flute. And I almost feel that it changes too fast. So maybe we can stretch that out a bit. Control Q. I feel like there should be a space because the melody comes suddenly. So let's just shift this over 1 bar. And this needs to go over a bit. So then this, let's see. Okay, so we would go then we have to have something here. Okay, so and then with the synth, let's see. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Then we can make it resolve to nice. I kind of like the way that sounds so far. Okay, and then I kind of want to have an ending here, which repeats the synth voice here, but ultimately changes a little bit towards the end. Copy and then paste over here. And maybe it's sort of because Dave likes to do an ending where it sort of like rises a lot, like it's. No, do not left click. Do not right click. Nice. I like that sound. Okay, so instead of having the staccato notes here, I kind of want this to be the bridge, and then it goes into some legato piano notes for the bass. So what I want to do then is dun dun. No, okay, so it has to change every bar now with this one. Control Q to quantize. Wait, it's not even doing it. Oh, it is doing it, but its snap is too small. There we go. And I kind of want this to be less loud. One of those notes is too late. Uh, and then we can go here. Nice, I like that ending here. Okay, and then we just have to make it rise. So we go down. What is this part here? I feel like this part is wrong. So maybe it would be. So maybe Okay, cool. So let me check chat. I can hear the music now. Wow. FL Studio is really being stupid today. Can't even hear the music. Oh, it switched audio devices on me. Wow. Really dumb. FL Studio is just one big problem today. But it's okay, I know it's my computer's fault. How long has that been going on for? Yeah, how long has that been going on for? That's crazy. Okay, now all that's left is to check the melody and make sure it's agreeing with the harmony here. So we have C minor, and then here. Wait, hold on. What? Yeah, what? scale is this saying it's in? Because I feel like it's predicting this wrong. It's just highlighting the C major scale. Whatever. So here we have C major. That'll do. But I think it would. Okay, and then you have we have like F9, these notes here, right? But I think that we should stick to, let me set the scale and make it, minor, natural, and C minor. Okay. So let me shift that up one note so that it agrees with the chords. And then let's do like and so the thing here is mostly F major. So the thing is I'm gonna have to keep changing it because this is not really one scale. Let's see, because it goes to like D minor here. What chord did I choose here? A sharp. But the C works surprisingly well with that. I think it's just because whatever is such a good and nice chord to go to, whatever you'll hit here pretty much works. So, and then I think I like going to, let's say, hang the scale at this point. Okay, interesting. It still needs work, but it's getting there. Yeah, I might have to work on that later, but I do want to put the serum choir in on here. Control up to go to the next octave. Okay, so that one, I'm not sure how I feel about that one. That one's probably going to need work later, but... And I might want to give this piano a little more power. Piano bass. Actually, you know what? I might want to cut this part out. As nice as it sounds, it disrupts the flow. Or I might cut out the beginning part. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know, because I'm conflicted about that, because Dave always kept his sections pretty tightly, like, his melodies pretty even. A lot more exciting now, yeah. If you can hear it, I'm sure it's a lot more exciting than if you can't hear it. Just let me know if it goes off again, because it did that without even asking. Or I think it's just because it crashed, and it changed when it crashed. So, probably. I think for now I'll try cutting out that last bar there. It doesn't really fit. So let me hold Alt and snip out that last bit of this and snip out that last bit of that. And then the sound effects, this one naturally ends here. But definitely this one should also end before the, like when the melody comes in. Actually, I think there's like a little bit too much of those trills. It's just kind of repeating those trills all the time. Maybe we can put it in the beginning of, like splice in the beginning of the actual Fungi Forest theme instead of that. So instead of this, we can do... And actually, I like those humanized notes, so I'll keep them. And then it's like do 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 do. Whoops. Okay, I need to time those better. Dun-dun-dee-doo-dee. So I think da-da-dee-da-da. Let's see. Or perhaps we move, since we cut this out, perhaps we move those over. Or actually, and then we do the here. Okay, and then we cut out this trill. Let's see. I think. Nice, this note needs to move. Nice. Okay, that one needs work. Let's see. Or maybe, da-da-da, we do like da-da-da. This one is... This chord is a D major chord, so... And this chord, let's see. Oh, well, this one is F, actually, but still, and this one is gonna be... But this one still needs to hit A sharp. I think so. Hold on. Let me check that. Yeah, this one is like... the D sharp chord. Yeah, so this one is more like... And this timing is not right either. First, this needs to be longer. And this needs to go over here. I think it should actually go before that, this part. Nah. I'll delete that for now. Yeah, that feels good. Okay. Yeah, we'll roll with that for now. Nice. So at this point, I want it to come into like a beat, and the theremin that does the do 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 do, which I think I've already, like, I had kind of experimented with that. Let's see. And I think we need another like section to this, because these, like, repeating this isn't compatible with the D major and F chords. D major and F major chords, so let's see. And then the next one isn't compatible with the F chord. So what I want to do is, like, kind of want to make this follow the thing. So this would go to here. Da, 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 da. No. Right, let's zoom in a lot. Then I can edit it with my hand. Use the touch screen. No. Da, 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 da. What are you doing? Sometimes it just spontaneously does weird stuff. that I didn't ask it to do. No, don't do that. Like closing the window spontaneously, that does that too. I think it's a combination of my laptop controller behaving badly and FL Studio reading it badly. So this second part, the A is okay, but this has to go down to F. Nice. And this part is not the bass line that I need. I don't know why I hear a some of these though. I hear like some of the mallets. Like I don't want to hear that right here. So what's doing that? Interesting. Nothing actually seems to be playing that, but when I play it in full... Oh, it doesn't do that here. Oh, I guess it's gone. I don't know why that is. But I kind of want the bass to drop out for something more calm at this point. Because I want it to be less dread and more like just wonder and weirdness. Let's see. And I kind of want to hold on this chord for now, so maybe... This should not, I don't think this should get any louder. Maybe we can have this be like a resolution to A sharp, because like a 5-to-1 resolution from F. Oh, but this doesn't play. Yeah, it does play F. So I would have this be a 5-to-1 resolution to A sharp. Let's set our snap to be a beat and have 4 bars of A sharp. And we can make that a 7th for a little bit of to put a little bit of wonder in it. But I want that to go up a little bit instead of just going down. And if we don't want it to hold on like change chords, then we don't really need it to change. We can just do. And then I can put the soft bass in there. And then I want to... I think that would be too low. I can maybe make it an F in the bass. Nah, it would be a better resolution if it were an A sharp. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I kind of want it to continue the regular shenanigans. But maybe keep the bass static. Nice. I kind of like the way that feels. Okay. So now for drums, I want to put some sort of drums that would be inspired by Forest Interlude, and I also would like one thing I can do is keep the brush drums in there. Now remember, this part is without the intro. And then if we continue it like this, then you get a full thing. Okay, and I want to put some more drums here. And we can also have the the bell tree come back. Okay, and let's see. I kind of want to, before I do that, let's see. No, actually, we'll stick with doing some percussion here. Let's see. Now, let's see. I had some interesting percussion in the Forest Interlude cover I did a while back. And so I want to kind of bring some of that stuff in. I remember using a little bit of G-Town Church. And I remember using the wood pipe. Maybe some bongos. The hi-hat. And a water bowl. I think there was also some sticks in there. And so these all are going to be 5 through 9. So I want to go, I'm already using drums, so I want to make another one and call it percussion. And then I'm going to go check out what we have in Contact from 5 to 9. And given what I remember, this would serve as well as like the cowbell. then I think it goes like here. Yeah, we could do like that. Okay, the next part does... Okay, let's get a snap thing going here. Oh, this sounds a lot like the cowbell actually. I do want, first I want the hi-hats actually. Okay, and then it just should be a space here, and then it's like... Let me go to 8, and... Ah, yeah, there's no dita. And I want another bongo bit here. And then I need something bassy here. I think this belongs here, rather. And we need some bird sounds in the middle there. But I can't remember what I used for the bird. Maybe, and it's not... I don't think it's in... Let me go and load that up and see what I used. Welcome, Gamer XT. Hola, buenas tardes. Yeah, it is the tarde is right now. It's about almost 8 p.m. for me. We'll go for another hour at least. And then tomorrow we have something special. This thing is not going away no matter how many times. I think it's like a lot of errors that just keep coming up. Wow. Okay, at least I saved it. The error just keeps coming back. Interesting. It never goes away. Okay, I have to like Control Alt Delete and then cut off FL Studio. Let me make sure it didn't, yeah, it goes straight back to Focusrite USB ACO. So now I need to close this out, because if I don't do that every time I have to close it, it'll revert back to the settings it was before, which was FL's like Focusrite. So now that we have that saved, no, I don't want to open Fungi Forest. I want to cancel that. But I don't know how to cancel that. Usually dot, like, they claim that like pressing period or Control A period cancels it, but it doesn't. So as soon as that's done loading, I want it to stop loading. And it's freezing. Okay. Now load Forest Interlude instead and stop doing that. Okay, while that's going, I'm going to pour myself some water. Okay, and let's see. I think this is the bird that I had. And I think I was using slices of this. And I think I just made a loop of birds out of this. And I might have had that. Cool, yeah, let's save that sample into my samples. My free sound, because that is a free sound effect. And then I'll also save this preset as untitled so that I can load it up in SliceX in the original pattern. And then load up Fungi Forest. Okay. And this will fill in the gaps with some of the things here, because I know there were bird sounds in the original. And so if I load up SliceX, I can load up Untitled here and get the same settings that I was in, but I don't have the... I forgot about the notes, so let me just try to improvise some notes here. It looks like they're all different speeds, but one thing I also did was I gave it a mixing track in which I removed a lot of this heavy bass noise. So I'll do that here as well. Okay, so I want to do that, and I also want to give it some release so that when the notes don't suddenly stop. I want them to have a little bit of release after that. Nice, and I'd like those to be a little louder. Might could do with normalization, might do that for me. Yeah. And I could also make this just louder in general. And I do want a little bit of attack when doing this, so maybe sustain loop in, and then no, wait. This has to be decay now. Nice, okay, let's put that in. Let's drop that in there. And I want these jumps to continue. And then maybe I want the piano to come back. Nice. Okay, but here I want a harmonica to come in, or at least maybe a stringed instrument. So it's like something that sounds sort of like the harmonic, the Donkey Kong Country harmonica. Let me see what I have in my library. I do have one interesting thing I can use for that. It is a contact instrument, and I forget where I got it from, but it sounds quite a bit like a harmonica-ish, but it's a tea kettle. This will be at channel 10 probably. It's really sharp. So let's turn it down, like put a low pass on it. Welcome, Brimstone. I think, is there some software for N64 games you use for samples in MIDI? I tried VGGM trans, but N64 doesn't seem to be supported, I think. Yeah, there is something called, it's really complicated to navigate, but there's something called N64 Sound Bank tool. And if you load a ROM into it, it should be able to pull the samples and the MIDI files from it. I think there might be like a different tool for, I think the Sound Bank tool pulls the sound font from it. And something else pulls the MIDI. There's like different tools. They sort of like put like 3 different applications you have to download. But I can't remember how it's done. Because it's a learning curve every time I do it. Yeah. Quite complicated. But you should be able to find documentation on that. So, what I want to do is put a filter on that. A simple one should do. So I kind of want to riff off that sort of thing, but instead I want to use that part that's like, let's see. Yeah, so that's fun. I'm probably gonna. That sounds really bad on its own, so I'm probably gonna layer that with something else. But that'll do for the foundation for now. So yeah, this, and I would need to figure out what chords would go under that, but that's basically what I want the melody to be. And so, yeah, what did I do? So I had the sax, and now I want to find first empty and call this harmonica. And so here, I want to do a, so I want to record that in here. Let's do, but I need a countdown. Let's see. Nope, wrong octave. Okay. No, that's the wrong notes back there. So, let's see. And then we can basically repeat this over again with different notes, same timing. It would be D, and then da, 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 da. And then we have a quick note here. And this one goes A sharp. But I want it to be a lot faster than that. That one seems a little too fast, though. Okay, and I definitely want to... Where's the... I also want to have that have a high pass. Perfect. And I want to give that a mixer track, actually. Just for the time being. Stop playing. So to do that is kind of complicated in Contact. Basically I have to say... Give it plugin outs, which is entirely unnecessary. And I think I have to give this kind of on your own to figure out which one's in the next one in the sequence. And I just have to whittle around until you get that. So I have 7 and 8 now. And then you have to go into processing for Contact and figure out what is... You have to do some addition. You have to add this number to whatever number Contact is at. Which the next one... I can't even add another here. Don't know why. Usually there's a plus button here. But it's not giving me the plus button at the moment. I think if I give take another one and go, hey, give this a mixer track, then it'll automatically add it for me. Which is really weird, but... I think that's one part of the glitches that FL Studio is having at the moment. So this is 19, which means that I want Contact to have 14 plus what is 19 plus 5. Okay, and then I want to EQ that a little bit. High pass that's that a little more. And then I want to give that reverb with realm. And then when I use the touchscreen on this knob, for some reason it doesn't, it just gives me one or all or nothing. Let's give it delay as well. Just reduce the output. And set the timing to 3. Okay, and then I need to give that some volume decay. So turn the sustain all the way off. Rise the decay to about 6-7 seconds. Okay, and then give it vibrato. Vibrato, which comes in a little bit later in the sound. So you need to add an LFO to the source and set this LFO to be about 0.5. And then I need frequency of about 6. Fade in, whoops, that's too much. About 700 milliseconds. And so this needs to be a lot less than 0.5. That would be about maybe 0.16. Oh, my fans are running real hot now. I was wondering what that noise was. Yeah, I might need to run the external fan for a little bit. And that's going to cause noise on my microphone, so let me add some filters on that. There you go, that ought to take care of it. But you might hear some noise whenever I talk. Oh man, what is... OBS is just doing some weird stuff now. Oh wow. What is happening there? Okay. So... let's see. I think if I get closer to the mic, I can probably mitigate that a little bit. And then maybe we can have it come in earlier. Let's see, I need a chord progression that works with this. Although the chord progression I had did sound pretty good. Not on that part. And then, of course, the theremin will need to change too. And so, what was the chords in Forest interlude that happened on this part? It was more like... I just looked this up yesterday, or like the day, other than the day. So he did like, he started out doing... No, he did... Oh wait, am I in? Did I tap the chord part here? Yeah, it's playing some weird notes here. Oh, it's playing chord notes. I don't want that. is it playing chords right now? Yeah, don't do that. So weird. Oh. Okay, there it is. So in the game, he's just... And then he does like... Da, na, na. He does like D minor, I think, and then... Na, 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 na. Yeah, so he does like... He does a chromatic dissension, keeping the top note the same. And then finally resolves to A sharp. So, the chords that are being implied here basically is like that. So we can kind of descend like that. And then the notes that are being implied here are... Can't do that. It's basically the same chord. That's interesting. So that fourth chord is... which could basically be part of this. Those birds are too loud. I don't know why they're full volume. And I think the according to the beat, the birds should start a little bit early. Like that second note should start a little bit early. Okay, this should also repeat itself. And I think I need to extend the drum beat. What? Why? Oh. think I need to extend the drum beat out by doing sort of something like this. That it ends here. No, absolutely not. And I think I could end it there. I might, because I ended on a question, be like da da, and have it fade out like that, which means that I wouldn't need this part. It would just be like stop there, like it would just stop right there. Oh, great. Okay. So, now I just need chords for this part. And instead of doing that, let's remove this. I kind of want to do this sort of thing again. And then let's make this unique. But it's in the wrong key though. So let's just switch that. What chord are we hitting right here? It would be F. Yeah, so let's just put this in F then. Shift that one note down, it should satisfy the requirement. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's move on. Let's put whatever the next bit of space is here. Not like that. No. So we know that we have want this. And I want to set my snap to be a beat for this. Whoops, that's not the note I wanted to go to. And what note do I want to go to after this? Maybe C. Or what chord, I'd say. And then the next part of that is, then we go to F after that. Okay, but it does need to be darker because it is the night theme. The bass will probably take care of that. Or I think it would. I suppose I could force that chord progression that is from Forest interlude by making this descend chromatically, and then just make the melody work with that, and then have this resolve to A sharp. But it wouldn't be A sharp that it's resolving to because it's in a different key. It would be... So it's going up. Actually, I think it's different because this one's supposed to be in minor. So this should resolve, being this is a diminished chord, it probably should resolve to D major, maybe. So this is basically just one note up from D. So ideally, this might sound weird going to... Well, no, this is not the chord previous to that. Let's see. And then you go to B. Okay, that's the one. Right, because... Oh yeah, A sharp diminished resolves to B major. Okay, so let's make that melody conform to those chords. We have D sharp minor, D sharp minor, A sharp major, A sharp diminished, B major. Okay, so zoom in a little bit. Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. This F goes to E, and then so this C goes to B, and this A sharp, this A goes to F sharp. Okay, and then I'll have to modify this, but I just want to make sure that this transition makes sense. Yeah, I mean, we're basically going from F to D sharp. So it doesn't really make sense, but I think the fact that we're moving chromatically sort of does make it make sense. Let's see. Nice. Okay, so we also want to introduce the choir to this. Actually, I want to copy and paste that. Notes. What are you doing? Just totally shifted me, like threw me across the room there. Okay, where was I? I was in synths. And so I want to make sure that this sort of conforms to, well, I kind of want to make it have fewer notes. So let's grab this here, copy it, and go to choir. And then we have to put it up an octave. Oh, wait, hold on. It's supposed to be B major, not minor. No. Okay, so with that bass, in the bass, which what we want to do is shorten this note and have it have the bass drop out for a moment. And then I want to bring the piano back. So for that, the bass here should be but remember it's supposed to be octaves, so we want to have a lower one too. And so for the next part, okay, hold on. If we go the nostalgia route, we kind of want to continue because let's see. In Forest Interlude, the chords continue as being... It goes straight back into Forest Interlude by doing... So it does... Let's see. And then it hangs on this A sharp, so it basically just does. But since we're not starting in D minor like before, we'll have to put it up one note. So we'll need C sharp minor. Oh, actually, no. Instead of have A major, because this was supposed to be, let's see, we'll go to and why is this selected? And then it resolves to, this time instead of A sharp major, it resolves to A, no, actually B major again. But I think that's even too long for this. I think it's just 2 chords. Dun. So I don't know if that's going to work, because I do want to keep this ending on a question thing, so I might just... Actually, I kind of want to keep these chords instead. G minor. No, it's not G minor, it's D sharp major. To A, something containing A. No. Okay, so it goes from D sharp major to something containing A. What should it go to? What would sound good? Could do... If I could have it resolve some way, that would be great. So the 5th, so have this resolve perfectly, it would go down to G sharp. But G sharp does not contain A. Unless you talk about the dominant, and the dominant doesn't sound resolved. But then again, I did want to end this on a question, so... A major would be nice to end this on. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and implement that on the wire. Where we extend the D sharp and then wait a second, it's playing A sharp, not A. Oh wait, that's because this is... Yeah, that's not the chord. Nice. So then we need D sharp. And then we can end the bass on A sharp, on A, I think. Nice, and then we'll lead into the next song. So, and the next song being Crystal Caves. And so I just want to make sure that I end on something that's kind of compatible with Crystal Caves. And we're ending on A, and Crystal Caves is in C. And it starts in C. So that would be going from... it's like... So that is pretty compatible in a cinematic way. It does make a God chord, which continues. We were pretty much doing God chords because we were going from. So it does kind of have this dissension. So it does. And then it starts in like that. So that tracks. That'll be a good transition. Okay. Let's hear that whole section in itself. And then I do want this to have the theremin in it. But I also want to have a tempo slowdown here. So maybe if I create an automation clip, I can have this shift. And I kind of wanted to slow down further here, so if I hold shift to keep this the same and make a point here, then I can have it slow down even more. And then hold shift and put a point here, because I think it was speeding back up again. Nice. I like that shift. It's a good shift. So now I just want to write a line for the theremin to go with that. And so I'll control B, and then I remember that my chords were D sharp minor. So I will go to A sharp with this. No, absolutely not. Outline D sharp minor here. Oh, it has to be A sharp, not A, I forgot. Okay, then from D sharp minor. I don't know what I'm playing right now. Oh, that's the brass. Why is the brass playing? That is dumb. Why is that happening? So I just have to descend it chromatically, really. If I take these notes, put them here, and then I can go. Oh yeah, pretty much I keep those the same. But I kind of want to have this descend down to these. No, actually I keep those the same. And then the ending here is going to be, let's see. But here the chord progression is, it's pretty much diminished. It's A sharp diminished, so. And we can kind of do a seventh here. Okay, then this one just has to be B sharp, B major. Oh, and this has to go down here. Okay, and then I need one more bar of the theremin. And this one needs to be A, if I recall correctly. Let me select that and then Control B. Wait a second. No, that's not the next chord. The next chord is D sharp major. No, don't remove that. No. And then we have a final A note here. But this note doesn't fit. And I have to tell the playlist to extend that part out. And then I can hold Alt and extend the drums out a bit so I get that kick. Okay, cool. That Yoshi song was fire. What Yoshi song? Oh, you mean one of the other things I did? Yeah, maybe. I did a bunch of Yoshi songs. You mean like the mashup I did with that pop song from the 70s? Welcome. But welcome anyway. Welcome Red Beans and Rice. It isn't Red Beans and Rice himself. Nice. Welcome in. Okay, so unfortunately I think we're quite close to the end here. We have like 10 minutes left, and then I want to take a break. Probably for the night, but I'll come back tomorrow. We'll be doing something different. So I just want to check out, on the whole, what we've been doing today and see how it flows. So let's start with one bar, last bar of the daytime theme. And I kind of want to do a thing here. I would like to, because I know the piano is panned, so that gives me an idea. Let's Control I on the piano part, and then in the bass, let's set that to be. When does the piano come in? Let's have that be 50%, and then change it here. And then have it go center. Nice. Nice. That flute line still needs some work, but let's see. Let me hold Alt and move this note. Let me hold Alt and move this note forward a little more. And then I want to actually put that note in there, now that... Nice. Okay, and here I want the pads to start here. Let's see. Yeah, we can use that. That chord sounds good. So let's go back here. So let's see. I think I would like to do a trill, do that same trill. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Da-da-da, da-da-da. And I think we don't need these first two notes here. We can let that last note just keep on going. And then I think we go in thirds here. And do that trill from the other, from Forest Interlude. Nice. I don't think it needs to slow down that much. Nice. Now, the flute, I wanted to send it to a mixer track, which will go to 9 and 12, 9 and 10. Nice, so let's send that to 9 and 12 and give this the very next one. Which will go to, and this one, it's still not gonna create it for me, I don't think, so I have to go do that trick again. FL Studio glitches a lot. And so it should show up there, even after I remove this. Let's see. Yeah. And I think it's mono here, so I might have to, it's Contact a lot of times glitches and makes things go mono. Oh, you know what that's doing? I think it's going into two different things. No, it's actually, it's transmitting stereo, but it doesn't sound like it's receiving in stereo. Whatever. Let's do round for this. Nice. Okay, let's saturate that a little bit. And let's put an EQ on that, or let's do a high pass. I swear that's not going in stereo. I feel like it might be, but... Yeah, I don't think that's going in stereo at all. It's probably that thing of, like, you have to refresh. But it should sort itself out. And then raise up the treble a little bit. And give it an exciter. And then put the reverb last. Oh, we also need delay. At timing of 3 steps. And turn the wet down, and then give it some diffusion. And I also want to pan this flute maybe to the left. Okay, and that sounds pretty good. I can't help but feeling that the flute lost something. I think it's in mono. I'm pretty sure it is in mono actually, but that might fix itself the next time I load up FL Studio. Now the other thing is this tea kettle. I want to layer something with it. I want something, some other sort of harmonica sounding thing. Oh, there is something called a Misfit Concertina from 8dio. It's like a free thing that I downloaded. Let's see, let's drag that in there. And this might need different notes because it's got weird tuning. Let's see when that loads. Okay, it's locking up a little bit. Sometimes these things take a long time to load. Okay, there it is. And I think there's a like a mono to stereo thing happening that goes here. I don't want the whole mods. No, I think that's panning also. Okay, so let's try going with that harmonica. And I'm going to paste it to put it in the next thing, because it might need a different octave. And that would be 11. So if I paste that in Alt-C to change, and then I Shift-C, select that again, and see what it does. Let me also solo that part, concertina, so I can hear just that. Okay, so the first note is like not playing, so I need to change that. Okay, so this one needs to go up an octave as well. No, why does it start changing my search view whenever I do that? So dumb. I think it's because the laptop registers it as a right click, which is stupid. Okay, and this one's also. Just wanted to make sure I'm selecting the right one. No, absolutely not. And that's really loud too, so I want to turn that down. No, that's not even the one I was supposed to turn down. And this one, I think, is not the note. No, absolutely not. Yeah. Okay, actually, I might just put all of it up here. And some of those higher notes are really annoying. So what I'll do is I'm going to put this in the tea kettle thing. And I think that's some of those being really sharp and annoying sounding is because of the velocity. So if I take down the variation in velocity, then I can just have it soft. Nice. Now let's unsolo that. Oh. I thought some notes were off. So first of all, let's give this some vibrato here. Let's add a modulator to the source and make it an LFO. And set the frequency to be about 6, just like before. Fade in to be 7 seconds, just like before. Okay, this one needs to go down. Oh, that didn't work. I think I put the wrong note down. Hold on. And this one I just straight up went to the wrong note. Oh yeah, this was just the wrong octave. Okay, that sounds much better to me. Nice, I like that. Oh wow, look at all this. The drums are going through the soft brass channel. Oh, it's the percussion that's doing that. I didn't even change the oh, because the soft brass is default. That's why. Let's just make a different a different mixer track for the percussion. Okay, and then let's go into outputs. Oh wait, outputs is already there. Okay, and let's set that to be the next two, which is unassigned 1 and unassigned 2. And let's send that to the next thing, which I don't think we need to do any processing on, so we don't really care about that too much. Oh, that sounds much better now. Nice. I'm digging that. That little chirp at the end is just because of the tempo change. That won't actually be there. Okay, so yeah, I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to do today. Yeah, so we'll come back tomorrow, and I have another commission to do for you guys. Yeah. So that'll be on the docket for tomorrow. As for today, I hope y'all enjoyed the stream, and this will be Jam and Sam signing off. Until next time. Take care, y'all, and have a great day.